What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. I'm Sean.
And I'm Catherine, and as always, we'll be breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career. Sean!
What's up? What's
How you
happening?
doing?
Oh, I'm doing so good.
Yeah?
I'm doing so good. I'm all powered up. You just saw I had a protein bar and a protein shake. I'm
Killing those macros. Doing a great job.
I can feel my muscles being built up right now. And they were already pretty huge, so
Yeah.
wow.
I'm just having plain water.
Oh, wow. With
Plain.
ice.
Yeah.
With ice. There's nothing plain about that. Nothing plain about that. You know what's actually crazy that, you really just reminded me of something.
You need to drink more water.
No, I operate without water. I don't need that. Hydration is just a conspiracy theory tried to push on you by Big Water. Big Water's scary.
Right.
Anyway,
right.
When I was growing up, never had a fridge with an ice maker. Anytime I went to a friend's house that did.
I never had a fridge. Never had one.
We had an ice box. The Iceman would come, deliver the ice blocks. No, I never had a fridge with an ice maker.
Okay.
And it was something that I loved. When I went to someone else's house, they had an ice maker. You get the crushed ice, you get the cubed ice, so many options. And never had one at the old house. Got one now, never use it.
No?
Never. Oh. I think I probably have taken ice out of the ice maker maybe 5 times.
When we were working at your house, I used your ice maker like 4 times a day because you have great ice. You've got different kinds of ice. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I barely even know.
Top tier ice.
It's, one of those grass is greener situations,
Yeah.
You strive for something your whole life and you finally get there and you're like, I don't need it anymore. What's next beyond ice? What do I strive for next? I've achieved the ice.
Ugh, I don't know.
Well, all right, we'll continue thinking on that. Anyway, what do you got going on? besides the plain water situation, which seems pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm working on my hydration. I drank too much coffee today, so I got the jitters real bad, and I was like, you know what? Probably should drink some water. Haven't done that in a while. But other than that, work is good and cold. So cold.
It is freezing out right now.
It really became winter, like, just all of a sudden.
Oh, God. What's with the warning, right?
No, there's no gradual descent into winter. It's like, it was 80 degrees maybe 2 weeks ago, and now it's 30 with 50-mile-an-hour winds.
I feel like that happens every year, and that's just how the seasons work, because now that I think about it, I feel like I say the same thing every single year. Like,
yeah, maybe.
Not ready for this. Winter just snuck up on us. And then same thing with the summer when it gets really hot. Like, we didn't even get a spring. What happened to spring? We don't get spring anymore.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It's just
maybe we just like complaining.
We're genetically programmed to just complain about things. It's baked into our DNA. There's nothing you can do about it.
What else are we going to do if we can't complain?
Oh, God, what's the point? What's the point if you can't complain? Anyway, something else I wanted to touch on. I forget exactly where this thought for a talking point originated, but it tied into something else. I can't remember what it tied into, so now it's just going to be a standalone, really random thing.
Okay. Is
there any weird thing that you're really consistently afraid of when you get into certain situations? That's probably too vague. I'm going to have to give you my example.
Yeah, give me the example.
Again, this did tie into something. I can't remember what was the linking thing here.
Okay.
So now it's just totally random. But anytime I am in, my car is parked on the street, I've got the driver door open, and there's somebody coming from the direction, facing me. I always have this fear that they're going to hit the door and it's going to chop my legs off. And I feel like I go through that thought process. It happens at least once a week where I'm in the street, I park on the side of the street and I get out and there's a car coming and I'm like, oh my God, I got to get out, close the door before they pin me in here and I don't have legs anymore.
That must have happened in a movie when you're a child or something. And then it's just stuck in some sort of residual childhood trauma in your brain.
It really does. It produces an adrenaline rush inside of me. I really feel like it's going to happen. That doesn't happen for you? You're not scared of that?
I won't say that I'm not scared of it because it's definitely a thought that has crossed my mind. And as soon as you were talking about it, I knew exactly what you were going to say.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's wholly unfounded, but maybe talk about it with a therapist. I'm not sure.
Okay. Is now the time to do that? Okay. All right. Well, moving. You got anything like that? No, that's just me.
I don't, but I do have over Thanksgiving when I was talking to my nephew who's 5. One's 5 and one's 6. And they were having a conversation about being afraid of the dark. And both of them were like, I'm not afraid of the dark. You're afraid of the dark. And they were going back and forth. And they were like, Aunt Catherine, are you afraid of the dark? And I was like, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Have you ever been outside in the woods in the dark? Yeah, it's kind of scary. So then I was listing all the times where I am scared of the dark to these children. And I think I might have traumatized them. But that's the only thing I can think of that's like.
Probably, yeah. I feel like, you know what? I think I saw on a meme recently, it said like, I've never run faster. I never run faster than when I turn off the lights in the basement and I have to run upstairs. Something about a dark basement is scary.
Yeah.
So I think that
definitely,
again, it's baked into our DNA, you know? So survival instincts. All right. Well, anyway, we got a good bit of squirreliness energy right off the rip. Love that. Love that. All right. Well, should we just get into it? You got any more, you got anything pressing you need to get out there?
Yeah. Well, we do have a touchback, not on last episode, which was with Matt, but before that, we were discussing the tariffs. And oh god, the tariffs! What are we going to do with them? Are they terrifying? Are they not terrifying?
Oh,
get it? And we did have a couple people message and like what their thoughts were, and like whether it's the end of the world or it's not the end of the world. But I did read one actual solid, tangible piece of advice that I thought when it was said, I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty good idea. So I thought we should pay it forward and tell the people. But with tariffs, like let's say that these tariffs go into place. There is a blanket 60% on Chinese goods. Something that is pretty much solely manufactured in China that you will not find a US-based equivalent manufacturer for is lighting. And lighting is also something that would be very easy to order in bulk right now. So I thought that was like a pretty interesting thing. Like, oh yeah, lighting, that would be very easy to just order in bulk right now. And not have to worry about it for the next year or two or whatever, however much you want to order. So I thought that was a pretty good thing. Like maybe you order it, then you don't have to worry about it. And it's one less thing on your plate. And lighting can already be kind of expensive depending where you're getting it from anyway. So gosh, you don't want that thing to be more expensive. So maybe think about it. Maybe think about that thing you could order in bulk. Lighting could be one of them.
Yeah, I think that is a great piece of advice, an actionable step that we can all take.
Actionable step.
So you
don't feel like you're doing something, like
you don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live in fear all the time of these tariffs. It can be terrifying, as you said. And that was a piece of advice from Evan over at Pride Hardscape, former podcast guest. So thank you, my friend. Appreciate that little bit of advice. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and order a whole bunch of stuff, but because like I said, you just pass the tariff on. We enact our own tariffs to our clients. Yeah,
but I feel like with lighting, for us, lighting doesn't really matter because even if the client says no, we're still going to do it. Not that we should let them know that, but like we're going to do lighting no matter what. But for people who do like line item, like this is what this costs, blah, blah, blah. I feel like lighting is the first thing that people are like, no, I don't need that. And it is the thing that makes like the biggest impact. So
right.
I think lighting is something you don't want to skimp on, especially for pictures. Like you want those lights to be in there. You want it to be well illuminated. That is so important. And it's also the first thing that's on the chopping block. So if there's a way to, facilitate that sale, I say go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not a bad idea. And like you said, it is. I think it's changing that people are getting more excited about lighting and wanting that as part of their project. But it is typically one of the things that I think people just think, oh, let's chop this out now. Maybe it's something we can add later. a lot of times it is kind of difficult to add in certain spots later, but it is something that people just see as kind of a first thing to come off. And if you can have your costs a little bit lower, you keep it accessible for the client and
keep it accessible. Yeah.
Keep it accessible. And like you said, we do, if a client says, no lighting, I don't want to do that, we'll still throw in some lighting. We have some cheaper lights that we'll use sometimes for garden beds, just so that we can really get those nice finished pictures. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to install. The product is really affordable. So, and they work pretty well. So it's something that we throw in, every once in a while if a client doesn't want to pay for it at all. And it's going to be worth it for us for those pics. Got to get the pics.
It's
all about the pics.
It's all about the pics.
It's all about it. So, great little editor's note. Wow.
Yeah, is that editor's note segment?
Sure.
I've done that before when I said something incorrectly or you said something incorrectly, but this is...
It wasn't me. No, it was probably you said something incorrectly. All right. Well, hey, good stuff there. You got any other editor's notes? Anything you gotta clean up?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well,
did you have anything else on tariffs?
I don't think so.
I feel like that was a good topic. I liked talking about tariffs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all I can think of is terrifying. That was really good work by you. Really, really excellent work. I'm kind of pissed off that I didn't think of it first, because I feel like that's something that's usually right in my bag. That's usually right in my wheelhouse. Come up with a pun like that. Really good work by you. Really impressed.
Thank you. That was the nicest thing you've ever said to me. So thank you.
It probably was. I would agree with that. Yeah. No, I don't think I have too much else on tariffs. I do feel like I've seen a lot of people, like, no matter which side of the political spectrum they fall on, I'm not totally sure how the tariffs benefit us. Totally. I don't think a lot of people are sure exactly how it benefits us.
I'll give you one example that helps it make a little bit of sense.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so right now, in the United States, not that we need to get back into tariffs, I'm sorry, but I do want to give you this example because this helped, when I was learning about them, this helped me understand it a little bit more, and this is like a very applicable reason right now. So, electric vehicles. The United States manufactures, like Chevy has Volt, just the U.S. electric vehicle market. The cheapest electric vehicle right now you're going to find, base model, very entry level, is probably about $25,000.
Okay.
Right now it's probably more, but let's say it's around that. Gotcha. In China, the cheapest electric vehicle is $10,000. So if that car with no tariffs came over to this country, it would absolutely implode the electric vehicle market, because it would just be so much cheaper. Even with like shipping costs, whatever, no matter what, it would still be so much cheaper. People would just only buy those. So a tariff helps the United States market, because even with a tariff, that is going to drive the price up to be more comparable with existing U.S. products. So in that case, it makes sense. And this isn't wholly applicable because those right now you can't even import those to the United States. So, but if it were, Gotcha. That's how, that's in a sense how the tariffs work in kind of regulating, but it's also just a tool of the economy. So in a lot of ways it doesn't work. And that way works. In a lot of other ways, definitely does not work. But that's the thinking behind them. That's why people are like, yeah, let's do all these tariffs. It helps either regulate the U.S. economy or just outprices things, so then people want to manufacture and buy U.S. made goods.
Okay. Hey, that makes sense. I get it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad I finally got an understanding of that. The 1 hour episode on that was not enough for my tiny brain to grasp what exactly is a tariff. I still don't totally understand, but I think I'll get there eventually. We're gonna kind of see how it plays out, and we'll see about it. So, very exciting stuff. So, what are we going to move into today? What do we got to talk about?
Okay. Well, first of all, Sean.
Yes.
Are you a holiday decorator at your own home?
No.
Do you put lights up ever? Never?
No. I hate
Growing
the holidays. I'm a Scrooge. I'm the Grinch. Not. I'm not big on it. You know what though? Not really. Because it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work for like.
What if I say you could outsource it to companies?
Yeah, I do know that. But I will say, I think we are going to do some decorating this year. And we did some decorating for Halloween this year because now Max is excited about it.
Yeah.
And that makes me excited. So, we decorated for Halloween together. We put caution tape on the doors. And he was so psyched about it. And, he was excited when people came over and were like, you can't come in this door. It says do not enter, And so I'm excited for it in that sense. So maybe I will be a decorator.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want your house decorated, but don't want to do it, there are companies out there that do it for you. And as I've just learned in all of my research, they're incredibly profitable. And something you might want to consider adding to your business offerings.
Yeah, I am familiar with this offering. My brother used to work for a company that did a lot of Christmas lights. It was a huge part of their business. They did, I think, over half of their revenue just in the 3 months of installs and takedowns for Christmas season, which for a landscape company is crazy that your most profitable service is now in the winter, which used to be your least profitable time of year. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of dive into this a little bit deeper. And it also not only just Christmas lights, but it makes me start thinking about other little niche things that are, I don't want to say easy, but relatively simplistic that could be a huge revenue booster for your business. So I've got a couple examples that I thought of, and but especially this time of year, Christmas lights, very topical, and I'm seeing signs everywhere for we hang Christmas lights, this and that. I'm seeing people doing it, and so yeah, let's get into that. Let's get into the holiday spirit.
The holiday spirit, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because I haven't been paying attention to it, but it seems like this is. It's always been definitely on the commercial side. I know that there's companies that have done it on the commercial side, but it seems like in recent years, the residential market for this has like really picked up a lot. And I don't know if it's just because I haven't been paying attention to it, but you see all these yard signs, and then they're advertising for these people. So it really seems to have exploded. And let's see, the global holiday light and decoration market in 2021. Do you want to guess?
I'm going to guess I'll go 7.2 billion.
You looked it up.
No, I didn't. I saw your notes earlier. You had your notes in the van.
Oh.
I was surprised when I read it, though.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
You know how you say I'm always reading over your shoulder in the van? That was
you
one
were
of those
reading over the shoulder.
Yeah, I did see that. Wow.
Yeah. But that's a lot of money. And one of the statistics that I found that I was like, I don't know if this is true, but it said that 60% of Americans decorate for Christmas. And I was like, that seems like a lot, because I'm not sure 60% of Americans like celebrate Christmas. But neither here nor there. But that factors into people who would want to decorate but physically aren't able to decorate their own homes. And also people who are like, well, I'll do a little bit, but if I had an opportunity to really go crazy, then I would, Yeah. So this service really seems like a really cool offering for people to take on if they have the ability to do so. Yeah.
Or people that can't hang their own Christmas lights or physically don't want to.
Yeah.
I fall into the second one.
Yeah, I decorated the inside of my house, but the outside is not decorated because my house is so like tall. I don't want to go. We usually end up doing like the front of the porch, and then it's like we still have 2 stories above that look like naked.
So sad.
It's not like a good look.
Go all or nothing.
So I kind of do want to hire somebody to do it. However, very expensive. Worth it for the people that want to pay for it. But a lot of the companies that I was looking at said that their average install per home is $1,000. And you said that your brother said his was like 3,500 or something. So
yeah, it was something something close to that number. And I got quite a few thoughts on this because my brother, before he went out on his own, he was with that company for, I'm going to say maybe 10 years or so. And he kind of grew with that. That was kind of a new offering, I think, when he started, or they, maybe the first year or two, they were just starting. They had bought a franchise for Christmas decoration, and it really exploded.
Wait, they bought a franchise?
Yeah. So they bought a franchise called Christmas Decor.
Oh, interesting. So that's an interesting business structure. Okay. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting too, because it's kind of simple. Like, okay, yeah, we just hang Christmas lights, but it's I guess they were one of the first franchises to kind of capitalize on this. So there's a lot of, when you want somebody to hang Christmas lights, it's one of those services where you're not like thinking about it for, all year. It's like, oh, it's Christmas time. Now I want Christmas lights. Oh, let me Google Christmas light installer. So, they funnel a lot of leads to you. They have systems in place. They have suppliers for lights, all of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a plug and play business add-on that you can buy into, but they do take share of revenue and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But here's kind of what I think about this whole niche. So when I first heard about it, 7, 8, 10 years ago, whatever, when my brother really kind of opened my eyes to it, was, wow, this is insane. That's a lot of money to spend on just decorating your home. He lives and works in kind of a, there's a lot of affluent areas around him. So most of the homeowners have the money to do this kind of thing, but it was also relatively average homes that were paying $2,500-$3,500 for a house package to do lights, to do a couple wreaths or whatever it is. And the profit margins are insane. They're crazy high. And I think that when it's a novelty thing that is new and there's not a lot of people offering it, and it's really a want service. It's not obviously not a need. You don't need to decorate your house for Christmas, but it's an emotional buy-in that you really want. And when you see, oh, wow, I don't have an extension ladder. I'm not climbing up on the roof, but I really want to decorate my house. You'll kind of pay whatever it is within reason when there's not a lot of options. But I think every year I see more and more signs that say we hang Christmas lights, or, a landscaper is now offering it. It just seems like so many companies now are jumping on that bandwagon, which whenever there is a service that has a super high profit margin on it, that just means that there's a lot of room for competition to come in and kind of whittle that down to kind of the lowest common denominator. It's not like it's a pretty simple service. Hanging up Christmas lights isn't the most complicated thing in the world. So you don't need super skilled people to do it. It's not like, oh, I want this company with the best reputation. It's like, I want Christmas lights up on my soffits, and I want wreaths on the windows. That it's a really simple service that I think the price can be driven down really quickly with competition in the market. And I think that is what we're seeing. So I personally think that, it can be a nice add-on to your business, but I don't think that the profitability that you get from it now, I just don't think it has legs to really continue for that much longer, because it's such a simple service.
What if you become like the elite designer of this? Because you can just string some lights along the lines of your house, but if you become like, some people get super intricate and crazy with their designs, and they Clark Griswold their thing, and then you become that designer, I feel like you could do something there.
Well, yeah, for sure. But that we're talking about a different business there. Now we're talking about a super high-end design company for lighting. I mean, then it's not a simple add-on to your business anymore. Just hanging Christmas lights, pretty simple. Oh, we got the gable up there. Yeah, we'll we'll put some lights up there. Those windows, yeah, we'll do a nice wreath under those windows. It's gonna look beautiful. When you get into a light display that's going along to the music, and you got the radio station that you tune your car to play along with it, that's a little bit more complicated, and that's going to take a lot more effort to really entrench yourself into. So I agree with you. There's always a market for artistry.
Yeah.
My God, that's what I believe.
That is a good point, though. But the one question I was left with after all of this,
yes,
all of these
please.
companies, they install like professional commercial grade lights that like they are responsible for. You don't like just use, Mrs. Wallace's 30-year-old string lights.
Yep.
So then they have them. Then they're responsible for warehousing them. And then how do you keep track of all of these things? What is like the nitty gritty storage detail of this look like? Okay,
so are you saying that is a really interesting part of it. So the thing that they did was you have to buy the lights. They'll sell you the lights. You own them, but you also pay for them to store it.
Yeah.
So it's like a recurring revenue thing.
And then you pay to reinstall them.
You pay to reinstall them, yeah. So the first year is usually the most expensive because you have to buy all the lights. And then you're paying storage fees. So they actually had to build like, I want to say a 60 by 100 building so that they could store all of the Christmas stuff that they were accumulating. And you're not only paying to buy the stuff, you have to pay them to store it, and then you're paying them to reinstall it the next year, which is, it seems kind of crazy. And I guess if you cancel your contract, like they'll give you the lights back, but it's also like, I'm pretty sure that you had to pay them to store it because they want to make sure that it's stored in a certain way.
Yeah.
And when they go to reinstall it, like everything's there and it's not like, oh, it's in the back of the garage buried under stuff and none of it works anymore. So that was like a mandatory part of it. You have to buy the lights, have them install them. They take them down. They take them back to a warehouse. You pay for the storage of them. And then the next year, I guess it's a little bit cheaper to install them because you already bought them. But but it probably works out to the same thing because you just paid to store them for an entire year. So it seems kind of crazy.
Yeah, from what I was reading of people's offerings, it was also like a separate package was like maintenance on the lights. And I was
what does that mean?
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
what, they need an oil change?
You're out there testing every single bulb. Like, yep, this one still works. Yep, this one too.
This
one also still works.
You know what?
So
I think
that was all surprising to me, and I mean, people are willing to pay for it, so it seems like a service that's working for people. But I was surprised with how expensive it was.
It's starting to sound like it started off well intentioned, and now it's starting
now we're anti this.
Yeah, price gouging, and they're preying on people's holiday spirit. How dare they?
That is so true. If it's for something that like people have emotions about, like weddings or holidays, you upcharge it, and people they're gonna pay for it.
That's a really, really, really good point. So maybe you're right, because weddings are one thing where it's like, yeah, like weddings are no secret. It's not a secret industry that like nobody's getting in on, but they must all collude and say, everything. If it's for a wedding, it's going to be super expensive. Like, okay, you're getting a catering service for a party at your house, it's this much. You want the same food, but it's for a wedding. It's double.
Yeah,
and it's always like that.
Oh, 100%.
So maybe you're right. It is such an emotional thing. Maybe all the Christmas people are getting together and they're like, no, we're just going to keep upcharging them. Big Christmas. How do you think Santa Claus has that huge? He's using all that unpaid labor up there. The North Pole.
Yeah.
I think those elves are there against their will.
Probably.
Somebody should go do a wellness check on them.
It's ridiculous.
All right. Well, I think that's an interesting point that you brought up when it is tied in to such an emotional thing. And now that Max is like excited about decorating, I could see being like, all right, well, I'm not doing this, but he's all excited about it. Let me, all right, what, $3,000, whatever. Yeah. What am I going to be, Scrooge or the Grinch? All right, I'll pay for it so my family doesn't hate me. Yeah. I get that, but
oh gosh, and I bet if you live in like a development where it's like lots of houses close together, that's probably like a Just
yeah.
checking each box. Like, everyone, well, that house has Christmas lights and they got the Grinch up there. Mom,
Yeah.
why is our house so boring and sad?
Yeah,
Then
now you need the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who as well. It's just, where does it end? Where does it end? Anyway. All right. Well, I think just the concept of this in general is interesting because I think there are other services that are like this, that are things that, you don't really think about too much, like that there's a market for it, like Christmas lights. I would have never really thought about that as being a huge market, but it is.
Yeah.
And similar things that I thought of were the services that clean out your trash and recycling bins. Have you seen these?
Yeah.
You have?
I have, yeah.
You said it in a weird. Do you have thoughts on it? What do you got? What do you got on that? You were like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have. No, Pat puts our grass clippings into our trash can, and they smell horrendous.
Do that? What do you mean? Why is he doing that? Oh wait, just in a regular trash can, not like the big one that the township picks up.
No, like our township trash can.
You can't do that. What's he doing? That's illegal.
He mows our. No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure it's illegal.
It's not.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe,
but
maybe I shouldn't have rat him out. I don't know. Either way, he puts those in there, and in the summer and he always does it like the day before the trash gets taken out, so it doesn't stink for too long. But it's still very stinky, and it makes our trash cans very stinky. So he's always cleaning the trash cans out. But he's always like, I'm gonna get one of these, in a fit of rage of our stinky trash cans. He's like, I'm gonna get those services, and I was like, we cannot and it's like a service that comes to your house, and they just like power wash the inside of your trash can. I'm like, we have a power washer. We are able-bodied people. We can do this ourselves. But it's definitely a hot topic in our house.
Okay, wow. I didn't mean to strike a chord with you here.
It's all right. You didn't know. It's okay.
Here's the thing. Have you ever tried to power wash the inside of a trash can? You know what happens? The water shoots right back at you. So it's like you have all that disgusting grime in there, and it's just shooting right back at you because you're spraying into a closed cylinder.
Yeah.
So that's something that's I think is really interesting. For me, it's never been that big of a concern. I never really thought about it too much, but you have a service out there that, by all accounts, I've seen a lot of different things about this service, that it's really profitable because it's super easy to do. You can have people on a recurring schedule, like quarterly, we're going to come and nobody has to be home or whatever. You just come by, hose it down, spray it out. They put cleaner on it. They put antimicrobial goo all over it, and they clean it. And it's like, things like that are something that you don't need probably a huge investment. There's definitely some specialized equipment to have all that on a truck, water tank and detergents and all that kind of stuff, but nothing crazy. You definitely don't need somebody super skilled to do it. And I just never would have thought that there's a market for people to come and clean out your trash can.
Yeah.
The trash can's supposed to be dirty. It's the trash can. You put trash in it. It just never occurred to me. So I think that is a super interesting one. And the other one that I thought of was people that come and pick up your dog poop.
That's what I was going to say.
I beat you to it. Because that one, go ahead. You got something?
No, well, at our last job, they had a dog pooper scooper, and he was driving like a really fancy, nice truck coming to pick that poop up. And I was like, I feel like there's something to this poop scoop business, because that guy, maybe he does something else as well, but seems to be doing pretty well for himself. But also, landscapers, they must be stepping in dog poop all the time. I've never been a landscaper, but we step in dog poop all the time on our job sites, and it's horrible. So I imagine if you're a landscaper, then you know
nothing.
I don't know anything.
You know nothing of the pain of my people.
Okay, what is it?
Stepping in dog poop is bad.
It's shooting all over the place from a lawnmower? Yeah. I assume it's pretty bad.
No, see? No, you don't understand. Hitting it with the weed whacker. It is the most terrible thing that a person could endure. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's happened to me before. You don't see it.
Imagine.
It's sitting there. The lawnmower is no problem. It shoots it out to the side. It makes the entire yard stink like dog poop in the worst way.
Yeah.
But it won't shoot on you. It's going to shoot out the side of the mower.
Mm.
When you hit it with a weed whacker, it's going to shoot everywhere, including mostly on you. It's not good. It is really bad.
It's horrible. So see, this is a business that ultimately ends up helping you because then you're not shooting dog poop all over your legs. And you get to charge people for it. So do that as an upsell of your landscaping business. Have someone come the morning that you're about to do it. Clean yard for everybody. That's actually
a really good point to combine those businesses, because you could also just have your landscape crew do it.
Yeah.
Like you're there to cut the lawn once a week. So before you start mowing, you pick up all the dog poop. But that's another thing that I'm curious about. So you just let it go for, like, how often is this service typically rendered?
Twice a week.
You know this, or are you just guessing?
No, I do know this. Twice a week. Well, you can do it. People can do it. The most common offering of it is twice a week. Some people do it once a week, and then I saw some people do it like once a month, which it's like, that's disgusting. If you're going to just let that pile up, that's horrible.
That is horrible.
Maybe if you have like one tiny little dog, maybe, but like, still gross.
Yeah. Well, how do you know so much about this? Did you look into hiring somebody?
No. I found on the internet there was this lady who had a really good internet presence, and I wish I'd remembered her name so I could say it. It was like, it might have been like Croupen's Poopin' Scoopin' or something.
That's what I saw. Crouper's Pooper Scoopers or something.
She had a last name that rhymed with Poopin' Scoopin'.
Yeah.
And all of her stuff was pink, and it was like a lady-owned business, and she had like a poop business.
She had a poop.
Poop scoop, sorry. Poop.
And she had a poop
business.
Crouper's Pooper Scoopers.
And I found it very interesting, and she had a great like web presence. So
yeah.
I kind of did a deep dive on poop scooping after that.
Well, you know what they call it in the biz? They call it brown gold.
Do they? In that business?
They should. If they don't, it should. Because it is. It is. Yeah, it's things like that you don't really think about, that especially, for certain companies, it's like a logical add-on that can be a whole new service that can kind of be combined with another service. Like if you are a landscaper and you're cutting grass, like, you got to find the right landscaper person on your crew that wants to cut grass but also pick up poop.
I feel like because of the frequency issues, it's got to be two separate crews, but it's still your people. So it's like,
it's still your people.
I feel like do the courteous thing and send the poop crew out before they're about to, the day before, the morning of the landscaping crew. That would be some strategic planning, but ultimately, how you get your lawn cut like every other week, right? Isn't that usually
once a week? No, once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah, once a week. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe you could make it work. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But
well, it's very interesting, and I think it just kind of opens up your mind to the fact that there are a lot of opportunities for unconventional things to implement into your business. One more that I'll just mention quickly is for hardscapers to offer cleaning and sealing. You already have the client. You've already done the install, so it's something that if you're interested, you can market this ongoing maintenance package, and you don't have to really go out of your way to market that because your existing client is your customer. So it's interesting. It's interesting if if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So something to think about.
I always worry about that because I feel like it kind of comes
don't worry.
across.
It's fine.
I do. God, I worry.
How much time? God. Okay, go ahead.
No, I worry that it comes across as like, I'm installing this faulty product. Hire me back to come and clean and maintain it. Which I guess there's other industries that do that, but that one is the one that always, to me, that always that feels like a fine line to tread. Like, I know that you need to like clean them and maintain them, and as with most things in life, you're going to have to maintain them.
Yeah.
But like with something like that, it just seems like, it's not going to look the same in a year. You want me to come back and fix it? I will.
Yeah, I guess I see where your head's at with that. But
especially if you wait until like it's over, like you finish your thing and then you're like, here's your beautiful patio. You know what? Next year it's not gonna look like this. Do you want me to come back?
It's gonna look terrible. It's gonna look horrible. Yeah, I think it depends how you approach it. I think with everything, it's all about setting the expectation. So when you're selling the patio, you should be selling it as a low maintenance option outdoor living space. It's not a no maintenance. There's no such thing as a no maintenance. It's low maintenance. And every couple of years, 3 to 5 years or so, cleaning it, sealing it, new poly sand, all that kind of stuff is appropriate maintenance that you should be, whether you're selling the service or not on the back end. You should still be educating the clients that, hey, this is not a no maintenance situation. It's a low maintenance situation. So, and everything's like that. You can have concrete, but concrete is going to crack eventually. And same thing, to really extend the life of it, you're going to want to seal it. So something to think about there.
Yeah.
Something to think
about.
That's a good one. It all comes down to that communication, setting the expectation.
God, you gotta communicate.
Which leads me to my next thought, which is I've been thinking a lot lately.
Is this the next segment?
Well, it's going to transition so smoothly that you wouldn't have even known if you didn't just call it out. But
sorry, I didn't know if you were moving on or not.
I was purposefully trying to transition so seamlessly so that people would be listening and then say, oh my God, is this a new segment that was just so seamlessly integrated? Now it's ruined. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Communication.
Oh, we're talking about this again?
Well, in a different sense. No, not communication with people like you. There's no good way to communicate with you. It just doesn't work. No, I'm just kidding. Communicating with your clients. I think it's something that I've been thinking about lately. Like, how can we up our experience with the client by communicating more? One thing that I always like to do with every job is I get both homeowners in a group text message. So any questions that I have, anything that's going on, like, hey, we tripped a circuit, can we get in to flip the breaker? Or, hey, the countertop guy's coming out today, here's what he's going to do. Then he's going to measure everything, and then he's going to send you some options and pricing, or anything like that. I like to include both homeowners so that everybody's on the same page, and just try to over communicate some of the things that we're doing, and just let them know kind of what's happening now and let them know kind of what we're going to be doing next and what they can expect. Also, what we might need from them. Hey, we need a decision on this. It's something that I feel like I've been pretty good at, but I think that there's an opportunity to really over deliver there and have them, just before they even have any questions about what's going on, really inform them and be super proactive about it. So, I had a couple ideas. I like to have them in a group text message so that all the communication is right there. It's to both of them. And then if one of them is making a decision on a certain thing, they can kind of delegate amongst themselves on who has that say. But really, proactively on maybe a daily basis, giving them some sort of update. And I was thinking I could do that either through a text message, or at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, shoot a small video, like just walking through the site, like, hey, what's going on? Good morning. Just wanted to give you a kind of quick morning update. Today we're going to be working on this, and this, and goal by the end of the day is that we have your TV hooked up. So you'll be able to sit out here tonight and watch TV if you want. Like, just little things like that, I think could be just a kind of a simple way to really enhance the customer experience. And I just think that there's so many times where the client, doesn't necessarily know what's next, or how much longer do we have, or
Yeah.
You know, just little things that they're not necessarily going to go out of their way and ask because they're not bothered by it. It's not like, oh, like, you know, when is the electric going to be on out here so I can go out there and plug in my phone or my speaker. But it's something that they might be wondering. And if we can just be proactive and just proactively give them more information than they're asking for, it could really enhance the customer experience in a way that is not really difficult to do, especially for us because we're on site every day. And it could also help streamline a lot of things for us where if we tell them what's going on that day, that week, it might bring up something that they had a question about that, oh, that reminds me, we were thinking about maybe changing this little detail. What do you think of that? And it's done proactively instead of retroactively after it's done. Like, oh, I see you guys installed this today. I was actually thinking, what if this was moved a foot over this way? Like little things like that I think could be avoided, but mostly it would, I think, enhance the customer experience to a huge extent. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I love that idea. I think even like maybe daily would be, maybe that would feel tedious, but even if like we're on jobs for like 8 weeks at a time. So if we even did like at the end of the day on Friday, we were like, okay, this is what we got done this week. Next up for next week, these are the things that we're going to these are the things we're going to work on. So, you know, make sure that you have, you know, the TV picked out, or, you know, like just kind of, you know, like you said, the ticket items that are coming up next. But I think even on just like a weekly basis, people would really appreciate that. Yeah. And it's just very forthcoming. And I think that people love when you're just like very forthcoming with information. Because every client we ever have, when we start, they're always like, wow, you guys got a lot done. When it's like framing that goes up super quickly, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going so much faster than I thought. And then it gets to all of the little things and they're like, oh, did you even do like one single thing today? It looks the exact same.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could really help dispel all those things. It's like, all right, it might not look like we did anything, but we actually did X, Y, and Z. And tomorrow we're going to do, you know, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like I said, for us, I think it would really enhance the customer experience. Where I think it could provide insane value for a company is for the type of company that's not on site every day. Like we're there every day. So like, you know, our clients aren't super concerned like, oh, when is this going to be done? It's like, they're here every day. They're working, you know, they're not super worried about it. They know that it's not going to linger on for months and months. You know, we have a business to run. We can't just be there forever. So we're there every day. People know that stuff is getting done and getting accomplished and we're making progress. But if you're a business that can't be on site every day, say you're running multiple jobs or you're running sub crews and you have to wait for certain inspections and there's nothing to do and you have these stopping points, like that's really an opportunity to be proactive. And if you're not going to be there on a day for a certain reason, like, hey, we're waiting for this delivery, that's why we're not going to be there. And really being proactive about that communication above and beyond what you would think is maybe necessary or typical, that is a huge value add, I think, for every client. And, you know, it just helps build trust and, you know, don't try to be forthcoming, try to be fifth coming. Go above and beyond. You get what I did there?
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
great job.
Know, people say, you don't have a 4 head, you got a 5 head. That was like such a good like middle school burn.
Yeah, that was a good one.
that was. Yeah.
All right. We got anything else on that? I feel like that was good. I didn't know where you're going to go. Great job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We
really love to talk about communication here.
Yeah, we do. That was about the nicest thing you've ever said to me. So thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, I do. I'm going to kind of lead a teaser for another thing that I'm thinking about that we'll discuss later. I was thinking, yeah, maybe it doesn't have to be so formal with, hey, it doesn't have to be a daily update. It can be, you know, a couple times a week or maybe it's the end of the week. But that leads me to another thought that I'm having is what to absolutely standardize and what to leave loose and fluid. We'll save that for another episode, but it's another thing that's been on my mind. Why don't you write that down so I don't forget? Okay. Let me write that down. While you tease the next segment. Well, I don't even know what it could What could it? I don't know. Do we have to keep doing it? We can get a new shtick for this, which is the hardworking happy hour trivia challenge of the century. And I think it's pretty close. I think we're pretty close here.
Okay. Let's see. What is Sean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 1, 2, 3, 4,
you have 7.
5, 6. We are tied.
Oh, really?
We're tied again, yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, yes, we are tied because you won. It was a push 2 weeks ago. Then I won. Then you won last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Right. Hey, whatever.
Anyway,
I thought I was losing, so I'm not going to argue.
You're going down today, brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Get ready to meet your maker.
I'm going to die.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to lose and then I'm going to die.
It's just friendly competition. No threats on anyone's life. All right. So
all right, who's going first?
I guess I'll ask you a question first.
Okay.
Okay. True or false? And I'm going to preface this with I did a bunch of searches, and this seemed to be the most conclusive. I tried to get the most conclusive thing on a thing that I don't know if can be totally conclusive. So I'm going to preface it with that. True or false? Kitchen remodels have the highest ROI of any home improvement project.
False.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Why were you so adamant that it's false?
Because so many things can go wrong in a kitchen. Like there's the most items in a kitchen. There's like so many unpredictable things. It's the highest ticket items in a home.
Okay.
There's like so much happening when you do a kitchen remodel. That's like
okay. Hey, great. Okay, so what I did find was the highest ROI.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, it is false.
Okay.
The highest ROI typically is a bathroom remodel.
Oh, you should ask me that because I also would have said no for that.
Oh, okay. What would you have guessed that it was?
Highest ROI. Maybe a basement?
That's what I was just thinking. I hadn't really thought of that. But so the interesting thing that I saw about bathroom was an updated bathroom in general is you'll get very high ROI because it's not as extensive of a project as a kitchen, but it's still a big project. And the real big kicker here is if you add an extra bathroom. That's where you're really juicing that value. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
If you go from a 1.5 to a 2.5, you know, we're talking big dollars here.
Right,
it's not all about the cheddar, but it is partially about the cheddar.
Yeah.
You know, you need
interesting.
You need a place to drop that brown gold. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Poop is what I was talking about.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, good job. Hey, you got it right.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay. All right, so we have been discussing lighting a lot this episode.
Yes.
And obviously China, #1 lighting manufacturer, that's obvious.
China.
But there's always got to be a 2. It's not even close, but there's always got to be a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
The Netherlands is the second most prolific light manufacturer.
False.
Who is it?
Singapore?
No, Germany.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got it right, but
okay.
But you still got it wrong.
Yeah.
Or you got it wrong, but you still got it right. But yeah, Germany. I thought, because Inlight or whatever is from the Netherlands, I thought you were going to at least think about it for a second. But
no, I thought it was either like Taiwan or because I'm pretty sure I think their lights aren't even manufactured in the Netherlands. I think they're manufactured somewhere like Singapore. Or, I'm not totally sure, but I don't want to speculate. But no, I thought it was like Singapore or Taiwan or something like that. Germany. Wow.
Google says it's Germany.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right.
Next
question. I saw recently on Instagram, I actually reposted it to the Hardworking Happy Hour Instagram page at Hardworking Happy Hour. 3D printing of houses. It's something I've seen now for at least a few years. You know, I feel like dating back to like probably 2018, 2019, it was like, whoa, this is insane. And I've always wondered how realistic is this? How, you know, is this scalable? Is it really doable? So The latest year I was able to find statistics for was 2022. How many houses were 3D printed? Concrete, you know what I'm talking about, how they do that.
Mm-hmm.
How many houses were 3D printed in 2022? Is it A, 11, B, 296, C, 54, or D, 831?
54.
Yeah, great job.
Really?
Yeah, that looked like a total guess, but great job.
It was a total guess. But
wow. Excellent
I knew
work.
it wasn't like hundreds because
I feel like you probably would have heard more about it. Yeah. So what I found was there seemed to be some sort of comprehensive study done on this in early 2023. So that was like the most up-to-date numbers, and it was up to that point there was a known 129-ish 3D printed homes on about 103 different work sites. So I guess a couple of them had multiple 3D printed houses on them, but I thought that was lower than I thought. But then also when you think about it, there's still a lot of logistical things before this could potentially be a mainstream building method.
Yeah. And now that I'm actually thinking about it, every time I've seen it, it's like a concrete little ice cream machine that does it. And I always envisioned them taking some sort of 3D printer to the site, but do they like manufacture them in like a warehouse and then kind of ship them off
No, I think
a trailer home? Or they do
I
bring
don't think so. Yeah, I think they bring the printer on site. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine how they would do it otherwise, but I'm not sure. So maybe it's something that we can talk about in the future.
I don't know have you ever seen them like move like historic homes? Like that makes no sense to me. I envision it's something like that, like where it doesn't make sense to me, but it makes sense to the people that do it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Good job.
One of the upcoming things we are looking forward to is the International Builders Show.
IBS, not irritable bowel syndrome.
The other one.
Yeah.
How many people in 2024 attended IBS? Was it 52,000, 64,000, 76,000, or 88,000?
88,000.
Incorrect. It was 76,000.
Ah, you little weasel. They were all too close to numbers. That's not fair. Because I looked up when I asked you the question of how many exhibitors there were, I saw it was roughly 80,000 people went. So that's trickery.
They're obviously
going
to over-exaggerate. 76, that's almost 80.
That's a good
people
point.
Probably scooped in there undetected, so they had to round up.
That's a good point. Everyone's always rounding up.
But that's a lot of people. 76,000 people. That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
Tradespeople.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just attendees. That doesn't include the bodies of the people who are there like working the exhibits. So that's even more people.
You got your attenders and your attendees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, hey. I should have thought about that a little bit more.
It's okay, John. It's okay.
No,
I know. I usually take my time, and you always tell me I'm taking too much time, so I know you're cautious to not take too much time.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Anyway.
I still got time. Okay. Unless you get this right.
Yeah.
Okay. So last weekend, I just had to, I reworked our fireplace mantle at home and painted the brick. Mm-hmm. And it got me thinking about paint colors. Okay. And what is the most popular primary color to paint a room?
Primary color, you mean blue, red, or yellow?
Yes.
Blue. Well, probably not red. That seems like that would be aggressive.
Yeah, maybe.
So blue or yellow? Blue or yellow? When are we talking? Like, what kind of style are we talking? We're talking right now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what's the general consensus on the internet? When you do a search, you do a couple searches. What does it spit out at you?
All right, I guess I'm going to go blue because I think that last year the Sherwin-Williams paint color of the year was blue, so I'll go blue.
Yes, you're right.
Thank you.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't really think about was what are the other primary colors? You have red and yellow. Red, obviously, it's not red, and yellow. So the thinking or the what makes it the most popular is that it's a color preferred by both men and women.
Yeah.
Where yellow, you probably have that's more of a feminine vibe.
I was thinking you were kind of maybe counting in the yellow, like you can scale yellow down to where it's like a yellowy, like a creamy white. And I think if you were counting that also as a yellow, which that's kind of just like a warm toned white, and lots of people love any kind of white. So I didn't know if you were factoring that in, but
yeah, no, I guess not. Yeah, that was easier than I thought. So
it's okay.
Hey, whatever. All right. Well, how about if I get this one like right, like really in a really good way, then we could call it a tie. All right, what do we got?
Okay.
Let me get some dignity back here at least.
This is something that I've seen all over the place, and I didn't actually know what it means. But on your tools, it says that they're brushless. What does brushless mean?
It means there's no brushes.
But what does why? What does the brush do? Why would you need a brush, and why would you need a brushless? What does the brush do? The
brush, it's like a kind of like a coppery brush that does the electricity.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It conducts electricity.
Yeah,
and brushless is more efficient.
Yeah, because what I think of when I think of brushes is those little cars where you have like I forget what they were called, but you got the little trigger thing and they race around the little track.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Slot cars, I think they're called. They're like little like electric, but it's on a tiny little, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they just drive around on a little track, but they go kind of fast and they smell so much like that, that brush. And that's how like a drill smells, a brushed drill when you're really overloading it. So,
all right. You still lose, but you did get that correct. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I still feel terrible. I'm a failure, but that's okay.
It's okay.
All right.
Maybe you'll come back one day.
Maybe. All right. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed that. And, if you are enjoying this podcast, please take a second, follow us on whatever app you're listening to us on right now. And if you have a second, not while you're driving, but if you have a second when you stop, to leave us a review on that same podcast platform, it really does help. And one of our initiatives moving into the new year is to have some more guests on that could provide a lot of value. So we've had some guests on in the past. We want to do more guests that really, have something of value to bring to everybody. So let us know via social media. Instagram, Hardworking Happy Hour is probably the easiest way to get in touch with us. Let us know who you would like to have on the show, and we will pester them until they agree. And we'll get as much value out of them as possible. So, and another thing that I would like to do is when we do have an upcoming guest, we want to put it out on Instagram so that you can submit questions for a particular guest. So be on the lookout for that. Sorry, Catherine, I didn't run that by you, but are you okay with that idea?
Yeah, I like that idea. That's good.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for this week. And remember, communication's key. Over communication is double key, especially around the holidays. Whether it's with family, whether it's with clients, you got to communicate.
Yes.
That was kind of like a weak, that was a weak send-off,
It wasn't your best,
moment.
But
definitely not.
Okay.
But hey, whatever. I'm busy. It's holidays. I don't got time to think about, really profound things. So,
right. Okay.
Well, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And
tell everybody you love them, like you always do.
Love you guys so much, man.
There you go.
I really do. You mean so much to me. Till next time, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour. That's what we say. Bye.
See you next week.